Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you in another video. Alright, I got to make a video, but I got 44% on my phone. All these 44s, probably like 44 minutes till the game starts. All this is bad. Video, man, because it's a lot of talk about trading LeBron James. Now, most people who watch my channel, most people who follow the NBA know LeBron James opted into his contract. So if you're going to trade him, you would have to wait until the end of the season to do that. So nobody's trading LeBron James right now. But I think everybody just witnessed Karl Anthony Towns go down with a non-contact leg injury that he couldn't even get up from. And it's one of those situations where you just wonder, when you're built the way that the teams are, the way the Lakers are and the Timberwolves are and the Nets are and some of these other teams that are built in that way, Clippers, how do you feel comfortable going forward when you see something like that tonight? 1/3 of their pieces gone down. They just traded away all of their picks for Rudy Gobert, trying to build around Karl Towns, and hopefully his injury is not anywhere near as serious as we're considering right now. But that's not the point. It's the point that when you witness that, it's a reminder of what it is that you have in the balance. So the conversation right now, as I'm listening to different forums, I was listening to I believe it was Ticket TV, and he was saying he had Elder on. I believe that's what it was, or it might have been the Kareem Report. I want to give people their credit, but I'm not sure whose platform it was. But I was listening to Elder on there, and he was essentially saying that he wants to trade LeBron James and 2 picks for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Lou Dort. And my thing is, Bron's value is way higher than that. And don't get it twisted. I'm somebody who thinks that world is Shai. You know, somebody in the comment section before that, even way before that, had mentioned, we trade 2 picks and Westbrook to OKC for Shai. I'm like, man, that ain't gonna be enough for Shai. So don't get it twisted. I know exactly what Shai is doing right now. He's putting up dang near 40 points a game. He could be MVP if he keeps up this pace. He's amongst the top 10 players in the league right now. But this doesn't surprise me about Shai, because I've seen this level from him before. The problem with Shai is trying to gauge whether or not he's either injury prone, or was it a byproduct of OKC wanting to prolong his injury wait so that they could tank? I can't tell. And the problem is, I don't know if he's injury prone. So my thing is engaging whether or not I see him amongst the great young players going forward. It's determining whether or not he's going to be injury prone or not. And you're trying to tell me that you want to pair him up with AD. And my thing is, my biggest issue is building around AD, because I can't seem to figure out how long he's going to be able to stay healthy between injuries. It was like right now I'm thinking about it make a lot of sense to trade him just because he's playing at a great level, and I'm worried he's going to go down any minute. So you want me to bring another player that I have concerns about that in regards to? I need to know for a fact that those injuries weren't as bad as the OKC made them seem in order to feel confident in trading for him at that price. That is not a small price, man. You're talking about the king. The king. I'm not doing that. In year 21, yeah, I get it's the end of his career. But no, you don't necessarily have to trade him for that price, especially when you consider Lou Dort's contract, Shai's contract. It's not like those guys are on rookie contracts, which makes them like the greatest deal in the world. And see, that's what it is for me. It's like the best deal for a player like that would be to trade him for some salary that doesn't otherwise return any cash. You understand what I'm saying? It's like you want a player on the most fantastic discount, as to which I don't need that. Just give me picks. You feel me? So for LeBron James, I'm not looking to bring in $300 million worth of salary. I'm trying to get rid of that. I want that to exit, and I want to bring in flexibility and picks. You see what I'm saying? So trading the LeBron James type piece for me don't make no sense. I don't want nobody's contract, to be honest with you. Unless you are Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, you got to be a cornerstone player. Because that's the price tag I'm going to put on LeBron James, regardless if the field sees him that way or not. Why? Because I know what he represents to the owner. $1 billion extra on top of whatever money he's going to be putting on top of his season. You know what I mean? So it don't have nothing to do with how LeBron James is playing. Just so that he can put James on the back of a jersey. And that means more than anything else. So I'm not going to be trading LeBron James at price, at cost. Hell no. He's going to be priced inflated to no end because of who he is and what he represents to the league. I'm not trading him for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I understand for basketball sense, Yeah, in basketball sense, I guess you can say Shea's a young player. Sure, if you gauge him that high, you see him scoring 34 every night, maybe you feel strongly about that. He's playmaking, he's doing things on the defensive side. I think he's a complete star. I don't see anything wrong with Shea's game, and I think he could be a pinnacle player 3 years from now. I think he can win MVP if he keeps this up this season, like I just said. But it's one of those situations where it's like that's not what you're trading for. What you're trading for is his contract and whether or not you think he's going to be healthy every season so that you can build around him as one of your most two expensive pieces. So the way I see it is, if he can't make it through the season in 40 games a year, which I'm gauging based on what it's seen in the past for the last couple of years with OKC tanking, and then I look at AD and I look at the other piece I have, and he's missing 40 games a season, how am I building forward with that? I'm trying to get rid of those problems. You see what I'm saying? No, I'm not bringing that to my issues. I'm not bringing those issues to my situation, essentially, was what I'm trying to say to you. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want to acquire Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I didn't say that. Because if they would be willing to take Russell Westbrook's contract, and then we could throw on the 2 picks and obviously more, it would have to take more. But, we could work something out. Because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is definitely worth trading for. So don't get it twisted. But it's at what price? I think 2 picks in Westbrook's too little. I think LeBron James and 2 picks is too much. Yeah, it's like it's that simple. That's where we're at in regards to my idea of what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is worth. Now, at the end of the season, if he's won MVP, obviously I feel like I should have made a different approach. But at the end of the day, I still know what LeBron James is worth. Not just on the court, but off it. And when you're moving a piece like LeBron James, you're definitely taking into account off it. Probably more so than on it. And so that's really what it is, man. I'm not on board with trading LeBron James for anything less than something ridiculous. Do you see what Rudy Gobert went for? More. Simply put, more. Because the logic I have in place is I don't have to trade LeBron James at cost. That's what I said already, but it's like, that's the point. A precedent has been set. I don't have to look at LeBron James' level of play and how he's been doing in terms of how many games he's played and put my price tag on that based on what it is I'm selling him for. No, not when he's LeBron James. Absolutely not. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations where it's like this. In my mind, some things, even if they're broken down, they're still such ridiculously precious artifacts that you can't really put a price tag on them even when they're wearing down. And that's exactly what LeBron James essentially is when you really try to trade him. KD is like that too, and that's what we found out in the summertime. You really can't put a price tag on a guy like that. Because of what he truly represents off the court and what he can bring to your team in terms of fit, what he can, especially with KD. I mean, certain things it's just like, all right. And I try to trade this dude. How can I make it so that I'm getting back what I'm supposed to get, and then trading him to a situation that he can be satisfactory at so he doesn't cause a ruckus and want to leave the place. And that's where it becomes a problem. Now, if 2 teams agree, but if the players don't agree, since they're such pinnacle players, then it becomes a problem. And then you have a KD situation like they had in the summertime where he was calling for the trade demand and so on and so forth. So that's what you try to prevent if you're an owner. And that's why I think a lot of teams are going to be reluctant to trade for LeBron James. I really think that. Because if you're the Lakers, you're going to price him way higher than anybody's really going to want to pay. It's the only responsible way to play it. You know what I mean? And he's such an important piece and is such an important person in the league to where he's going to have some say-so as to where he goes. And then he has his management company, so that's going to sway certain things. So it's a lot of stuff that just makes it very difficult when you try to trade him. Other people, maybe not as difficult. Him, I'm pricing him higher than what's reasonable, man. Like, seriously. Like, you're going to have to do a Luka Doncic swap. That's kind of what we're talking about. That's really what we're talking about. If you want to know the truth. And the price tag on LeBron James is basically Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I would love to say, Wembanyama, but if I'm being real, nope. I think Wembanyama's more expensive than Bron today, and it's because he's going to be on a rookie contract. I think that's why. when you got a guy like that coming in, and then he's not being paid $200 million yet, and he's actually gonna have to run around on that price tag. Yeah, no. He's probably a little more pricey. He's a little more pricey. But at the end of the day, that's what it's gonna cost you. That's what it's gonna cost you. And to be honest with you, if I'm the Lakers, I'm not trading LeBron James till after the draft because of that. That's why. Because LeBron James is valued more so than any pick that you're going to get this season. Now, if you're talking about a combination of picks that could span over several years, it's a different story. But as far as like getting the first pick or getting someone's best pick, he's worth more than someone's best pick. I would need to be guaranteed Wembanyama. That's why I'm doing it after the draft. Is basically what I'm saying. If I'm trading LeBron James for Wembanyama, it's not going to be a hypothetical Wembanyama. You're going to draft him, and then I'm going to trade for him. That's how that has to be. It ain't going to be I get that pick, and then maybe we got a chance. Nah, not with LeBron James. We ain't doing that. Hell no. Whoever the team is, if they want LeBron James, that would be the conversation. Not before. No. Cut all that out. And as to which the team that drafts him will not be trading him for LeBron James. So that's the end of that. So that's where it is for me, man. Trading Bron, I would be willing to trade Bron, but once you start talking about what it costs, it's going to be way up there. And it ain't going to be about the player we bring back. It's going to be about how many picks and how many swaps. That's what we're really talking about. So, the players and the salary matches, that stuff is going to be about the best discounts, the best high-quality talent you can find at the best price, I guess. If it's a huge name like Jason Tatum or something like that, then so be it. But I doubt it. I doubt anybody wants to move their pinnacle piece because they're going to want to bring LeBron James to that pinnacle piece so they can win it. So that's not reasonable. You're going to trade him for picks. So that's what it is, man. That's what it is. You're not trading for nothing else. And that is why I tell people no, Shea's not the move, because what you would end up doing is trading him to an OKC team as to which he couldn't win. He would hate being there, and he would cause ruckus to get the hell out of there. So that's a part of the conversation that they didn't say is what happens when he gets to OKC. How does Presti make Bron happy? He doesn't. Simply put, he does not. Trade for KD? Start the old man process? That's not Presti's game plan, and we all know it. So it's never gonna happen, man. Now you could try another different route, obviously trading LeBron James to a third team, as to which Shea would land with you, Bron would land somewhere else, and then the equity go to OKC. So there's always ways of making things work, of course. But I definitely don't see Bron landing no damn OKC. No, absolutely not. I could see him going to the damn Clippers before he does that. Yeah. And that opens up another can of worms, because I don't think he's going to want to leave Los Angeles. That's what I'm trying to express to everybody. Just because he's leaving the Lakers don't necessarily mean he got to leave LA. They got another team. And even though they're sitting on Kawhi's contract and PG's contract, believe me, there's always a king greater. And Ballmer knows. Kawhi know it too, so he better get his act together. If you healthy, you better get out there. Because I'm telling you, there are other players who can come in and play as a Clipper and do it just fine, man. I know that's not exactly what we're talking about, but at the same time, it is. When you consider what the Clippers can trade for, they're the ones who gave Shea away. That's where he came from. When you start thinking about what he's worth, and you're talking about trading LeBron James and 2 picks for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you do understand that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was attached to like 5 picks for Paul George. Like, needless to say, people need to value their stuff a bit better. That's basically the moral of the story. So with that being said, no, Bron is not going to be able to land Shea today. Or rather, vice versa. Shea ain't going to be able to get you Bron in 2 picks. No, that's not real, Presti. Sorry. It's not happening, bro. He'll mess around and do that to get the picks. And get Shea off his contracts, off the book, because obviously Shea's at a very, very high price. And Bron would be coming off the books immediately. So that's the only reason why you would do that. It wouldn't be for any logical reason if you're Presti, honestly, because Bron is older, man. That's what it is. If you're the Lakers, you're only moving on from Bron because he's older, man. That's it. Like, if he's in his prime, obviously we're not even considering this nonsense. And if he wasn't considering leaving our team to go play with his son in some random squad like OKC, then that wouldn't probably be in there as well. And that's something he should probably give some thought to as well. People have that in their mind no matter how well things are going, man. Put that out there. So it's probably wise to cut bait early, as we've been saying on this channel for the whole time. And that's something I think that's kind of kept a wedge between him and the Laker organization. Well, not the organization, but the fans. If there's anything that's keeping us from really just falling all the way in with LeBron James, is knowing there's a expiration date on this thing. Just knowing for a fact, you know what I mean? That's not necessarily how you go about gaining devotion. You know, and I don't think we give that much thought, but it is present, and it is what we assess as a whole. You know, it's one of the reasons why we're so quick to cut bait. It's because we know that is looming, regardless if he's injury prone or not. So it's like, look, man, nobody's looking forward to getting left. You know, at the end of the day, we don't get too much. We don't worry about it. Like I said, I personally think he wants to bring his kid to him, but I think he, you know, it's in the air. People don't know. That's my thoughts. The consensus is he's leaving to go to play with some kid somewhere else. So if that's going to be what he has on his mind and heart, but he's asking us to be very devoted and not consider what our future looks like, and to go all in and trade picks and things of that nature for him. When we know once we do that, even if we do win, he could still just bolt and go play with his kid somewhere. It's like, maybe LeBron needs to give some more consideration as to what that means for what the Lakers are willing to do for him. Because that's a very important variable. Very, very important. So, yeah, that's what I got to say about that, man. I'm getting ready to watch this game if my phone will allow me to. My charger that I usually keep next to my little area here hasn't been working lately, so I don't know. We'll have to move some things around to see to it that this phone stays good for the game. But all in all, I'm very, very excited about the Lakers playing the Pacers tonight. And I don't know that any trade will come from what we see tonight. Obviously, you're looking at Miles Turner and Buddy Hield to see if they can impress on our floor. And if they do that, obviously they'll enhance the chatter in regards to that. But truth be told, I just don't think the Lakers see those contracts as plus assets for this team. I really don't. Not long term at all. Maybe Miles Turner, based on what we may be able to do in regards to negotiations with him at the summertime, but acquiring him at the 2-pick price, couple that with Russell Westbrook and what he's actually means to our team right now, and what piece he actually is to us. I don't know that the Lakers see him as a solution when you get rid of Russell Westbrook at this point. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're going to get rid of Russell Westbrook, you got to bring in some inertia that's going to push the ball toward the rim, someone who's going to set guys up. You know, you're going to lose a piece, and that's what we come to understand. So we got to make sure that what we're bringing in is going to be able to not only give us what we need without Russell Westbrook, but also, of course, fit in what we need just as a whole. So I don't think Miles Turner is a solution in that regard. And Buddy Hield, as we've wanted him for a long time, I just think that ultimately it's a power struggle that's really present when you talk about Buddy Hield. You know what I mean? Based on the fact that he's a Rob Pelinka guy, and obviously we're doing everything with clutch. So I think that's the hold up there, to be completely honest with you. That's what I've come to learn. But even in my mind, I still think that Buddy Hield is a player that we can kind of do without. I read something today that made a lot of sense. It said, there's a good chance that even if we trade for Buddy Hield, our coach may still choose to play Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker and Kendrick Nunn. It's like, you know what, that makes all the sense in the world, because those guys are playing well enough, especially Austin Reeves, the way he affects the floor, the defensive end, and certain other things. He's going to do better than Buddy Hield. So it's going to be one of those situations where, yeah, Buddy, without those players, we can definitely play at his normal usage. But with the players that we have on our team, Buddy's going to get drowned out in this guard rotation. And at that price, that's a no-go, absolute no-go. So what you would want to do is get rid of Kendrick Nunn, maybe even get rid of some other pieces just to make that make sense. As to which, are you really better? I don't know. I don't think so. to be honest with you. So that's why Buddy is not the piece anymore, in my opinion. But they do have other pieces that can make that trade make sense, and that's where you got to get creative with the Pacers. And I know they're not going to want to give up any of those pieces because they're trying to build around those guys. So yeah, that's why I don't think the Lakers have made a trade with the Pacers, because secretly it doesn't really actually make us much better. So yeah, man, that's it, man. I'm gonna let this phone charge, eat some food, and I got some groceries coming tonight too. I don't know why I had them coming so late, but I don't care. It is what it is, man. Getting things done tonight. BDF 44. Thank you all for watching. I'm out.